That's what it is to be an American. That's what it is to be an American. Our next question comes from Jean.
First, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And thank you for being that public official who knows how to answer a question.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you.
I am from North Carolina, and my question regards illegal immigration. Last week, we learned that 13,000 murderers came across our border illegally. What is the plan to deport these awful criminals?
Yes, ma'am. The plan, to put it simply, is we got to send them home. We got to send them home ASAP, and that's exactly what we're going to do. They have no right to be in this country. And you know, it's funny because the media, which for 3.5 years has refused to even cover the terrible problems of Kamala Harris's open border, will now say things like, well, how are you going to deport people? You know, it's just way too hard to deport people. It's actually not hard to deport people. You just got to have competent administration that's willing to send people back to where they belong and not let them collect benefits in our country. And ma'am, I really think that unless we get this right in the next administration, we are throwing open the floodgates to illegal immigration for the next 30 years in this country. Think of the message that you're sending. Because yes, it's 13,000 murderers, and it's tens of thousands of violent criminals in addition to the 13,000 murderers, but it's also millions upon millions of people who have come here, and some of them are good people, but that doesn't mean they have the legal right to be in the United States of America. We've got to separate those two things. And if the message that our country sends after 25 million illegal aliens coming into this country is you get to stay here, you get to collect housing benefits, you get to collect welfare benefits, while folks in Western North Carolina are struggling to survive, we will never have a border in this country again. It's why we've got to elect Donald Trump. Send a message to these people. No more illegal immigration. No more open borders. Thank you, ma'am.
On the topic of illegal immigration, it's estimated that it costs this country $150 billion a year. So I'd like to hear where is that affecting the American people? And when that's solved, what can they expect to improve?
Yeah, Danny, it's affecting people in so many different ways. And I actually think that $150 billion may even be undercounting it. Because a lot of what that money is illegal aliens who collect welfare benefits in some form or another. So that's Section 8 housing. And take just one example. Let's say and I've seen this in communities that I represent in the state of Ohio, where you'll have multiple families living in the same house. Each of them gets Section 8. So they're able to pay way more than an American citizen who's just working at their job 40, 45, 50 hours a week. And so Americans are getting evicted from their homes to make way for illegal aliens who are only there because of the generosity of American taxpayers. That is one of the biggest ways it affects us, is it drives up the cost of housing, and it leads to a lot of people being unable to afford their homes. Here's another big way it matters. I don't know what the exact number in North Carolina is, but I learned in Michigan, 85,000 children of illegal aliens are in the Michigan public schools. And Michigan and North Carolina, probably about the same number, actually, here in the state of North Carolina. Well, what do you think that does to the poor public high school teacher who's just trying to give kids a good education, but all of a sudden they're dealing with classrooms that are full of people, they don't even speak the language. And again, it's nothing against those kids. It's saying something against Kamala Harris, who let those kids come in and deprive Americans of a good education. Here's another big way that it matters, and this is something I know very personally. You know, my mom struggled with addiction for a very long time. And my mom got clean and sober about 10 years ago. She'll actually celebrate 10 years clean and sober in January. And I thank you all for that. And I just know, please, that there is hope on the other side of addiction. There really is hope and recovery for all of those who are struggling with it or have families that do. But there's only hope if we give people a second chance. One thing I really worry about is when you talk about 100,000 Americans dying of fentanyl, and the fentanyl, of course, is brought in by these Mexican drug cartels, that's 100,000 kids that never get a second chance with their mom. That's 100,000 moms and dads that never get a second chance to become clean. This is destroying our country. And I happen to believe we've got the best people in the world. We've got the best country in the world, but we cannot allow Kamala Harris's broken leadership to continue to screw this up, or that's going to change. We've got great people. Let's fix the broken leadership and get Kamala Harris out of there.
We all look forward to that.